What up, y'all? It's the homie Dame, and check it out. This is the lineup for the 2023 spring anime season. As you can see, some of the hyped up, anticipated shows include a couple of battle shonens, a supernatural drama, an isekai, another isekai, another isekai, an isekai spin-off, and some rom-coms to round things out. Pretty exciting, yeah? You see, anime is in a unique spot right now. As it continues to grow its audience internationally, especially in places like China, South Korea, and the US, it's also growing as a medium. New stories are being told, new animation techniques are being utilized, new waifu archetypes are being crafted in the labs of some anime studio somewhere. But despite all of the innovation going on, just like any other medium of entertainment, anime has gone through its own cycle of repeated trends, and every era of anime can be defined by especially prevalent fads that dominate. From the post-apocalyptic cyberpunk trends of the 80s and 90s, to the rise of the big three battle shonens in the 2000s, to the isekai craze of today, and everything in between. As anime is entering the 2020s, new trends are starting to pop up and old trends are beginning to resurface once again, unfortunately. So I made a list of some of the worst anime trends to pop up in recent years, at least for me. But because you all know me as a reasonable and fair man and not some pretentious cynic, I also included some of my favorite new trends to, balance things out. So let's get right into it. Like and subscribe and all that, whatever. The Manic Pixie Dream Girl rom-com. Now, of course, this isn't exactly a recent trend. Anime has always had its fair share of this stock character archetype, but let's not act like it isn't especially prevalent now, too. So, if you don't know, the Manic Pixie Dream Girl trope refers to an eccentric and quirky female character that serves as the romantic interest for the stereotypical downtrodden and gloomy male lead. She's usually a static, unchanging character that exists for the sole purpose of teaching the male lead to embrace life and be more adventurous. A lot of people see this character trope as kinda sexist, and a lot of people have even criticized its use as a term itself as being sexist in general. But I ain't trying to get into all of that. Politics like that goes over my head. I'm not that smart. You all know what I mean when I'm talking about this kind of character. It's used in a lot of rom-coms these days. And while it's not the worst thing in the world, especially when it's subverted by characters like Nagatoro, I personally find it annoying when we see the teaser images for a new rom-com and can immediately tell what the dynamic will be between the two leads. And again, it's not always done in a bad way. It's just very eye-rollingly obvious when a character exists only to develop the male lead. It's waifu bait, Even when that's not the case, it's just a very tired dynamic. I mean, there's so many anime where you can picture a scene of some high-energy girl fluttering around an annoyed or flustered dude. I don't know. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it would be nice to see something new. Isekai, or fantasy stories about being banished from the hero's party. You thought I was just gonna talk about isekai in general, huh? Well, there's layers to the isekai onion, and not all of it is inedible. What? This particular trope is just especially present and has been present, and it's one of the most annoying to see in my opinion. And we may not see a whole lot of it now, but going by the manga and light novel trends that are popping off, I can guarantee we'll see a lot of it in the near future. There's obviously Banished from the Hero's Party, I decided to live a quiet life in the countryside, which is a pretty good show on its own, but it's just an early taste of the onslaught to come. In the future, we may see adaptations of The Strongest Tanks Labyrinth Raids, a tank with a rare 999 resistance skill got kicked from the hero's party. Did you know that a playboy can change his job to a sage? The level 99 jester expelled from the hero's party will become a great sage. I was dismissed from the hero's party because they don't need my training skills, so I strengthened my fief, which I got as a replacement for my and many others. I don't know, for me personally, these shows usually hit on a bunch of other micro tropes that I'm just not a fan of. Like, there's always the aspect of, oh, I was made fun of for having a really weak skill, but surprise, surprise, it's actually OP, I'm actually the strongest dude ever. Or like the revenge porn that's always in these, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get back at everyone who ever wronged me and I'm gonna do it in style, and then everyone clapped. But I get it, it goes hand in hand with the escapism and wish fulfillment that defines isekai as a genre. genre. Don't get me wrong, some of these stories are cool, and some are even good and act as almost anti-isekai stories. But there comes a time when subverting a trope becomes a trope in itself. At the end of the day, if we're gonna have an endless amount of isekais, let's at least switch it up a bit, yeah? Medieval or Victorian themed settings. Again, something that's been in anime for a long time now, nothing new. But it's also been especially prevalent in fantasy anime recently. Because, I mean, fantasy is much more than just knights and castles and wizards doing magic and all that. I know this trope has been a part of the otaku world for a while, because, you know, Japan likes French and British aesthetic for some reason, but, I mean, come on, let's switch it up, yeah? Even the West is guilty of this sometimes. Fantasy means you can do anything, set your story anywhere, during any time period, or, you know, you can make up something new too, who cares? I mean, let's just look at some winter 2023 fantasy shows. Medieval setting, medieval/Victorian setting, medieval/Victorian setting, Victorian setting. For me personally, it just makes all the shows look the same. They all wear the same goofy looking outfits with the same settings and locales. I don't know. Power systems based on RPG video game mechanics. Okay, I know I said I'd stop talking about isekai, but this one isn't exclusive to isekai, right? We all gotta point to big offenders like Sword Art Online for popularizing stuff like this. I can't tell y'all how many times I've started to read a manga or watch an anime and immediately my eyes roll to the back of my skull when something like this happens.
Ability always.
If a show has characters that have levels like it's fucking RuneScape, I'm out, man, sorry. I'm already thinking about upcoming shows like I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world too, that are just gonna make my ribs collapse from the cringe. Even though I kinda like the manga, but that's another story. For me personally, it just feels like a cheap way to make a power system without putting any real thought into it. It's just like, oh, how do they do magic and stuff? It's just like Dragon Quest. They have skills and all that. It's just like, bro. Studio Mappa adapting everything. At least some of the big name shonens, because I mean, look at what they've got on their plate, right? Hell's Paradise, Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the rest of the Attack on Titan. It's like, damn, dude. And y'all know I've said many times that I think that a different studio could have done Chainsaw Man a lot better. Not to say that Mappa is a bad studio at all. I mean, obviously they do a great job and everyone likes their adaptations, but you know, it'd be nice to see some of those shonens that I really enjoy done in the style of some other different studios out there. And if you're like, but Damian, these big battle shonens need to have AAA animation. Bro, if you don't think Shaft or KyoAni could animate something like Hell's Paradise, like, I don't know, man, you're wild. Again, not to say I don't think Mappa is gonna do a good job with these shows, it's just I wanna see some other studios adapt these big upcoming Shonen Jump manga, which is why I'm looking forward to seeing A1 adapt Mashal. Like, I swear, if Mappa ends up adapting Dandadan, I might not even watch it, low-key. Actually, that's not true. I'm still gonna watch it. Let's be real. Alright, let's end this with some of my favorite anime trends that I hope to see a lot more of in the future. Like I said, I gotta balance things out to show I'm not a huge asshole who just likes to complain about stuff. Number 1, shorter series. It's no secret that the era of 600 episode long shonens have come to a close, and I mean, as much as I like One Piece and Detective Conan, I honestly would much rather have a concise, to the point 12 episode anime. You see, I'm a film guy, right? I like movies. And of course, you can have multi-film epics like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, the MCU, but most of the time you can just grab your popcorn and sit down and enjoy a story start to finish in less than 2 hours or so. As the legendary drill rapper William Shakespeare once said, brevity is the soul of wit. And luckily, anime seems to be going in that direction. Obviously, we still have long-running shonen like Black Clover, My Hero Academia, Boruto, all that. But even those seem like they're gonna be coming to their conclusions with less than like 300 or 400 chapters, which translate to like what, less than 200 anime episodes compared to like the 500 episodes in Naruto Shippuden. Obviously, this is just extreme personal preference, but I just happen to like a story that knows where it's going, that has a point, and that gets to that point in the most efficient and yet fulfilling and entertaining way possible. You know, as opposed to the meandering and making it up as they go along approach of long-running shows. Not all, but some. Give me a couple of short but sweet seasons of Licorice Recoil or 23 self-contained episodes of Great Pretender, and I'm good off that. But that leads into my other favorite anime trend: more anime originals. Part of the reason we have such long-running anime is because they're doing adaptations of long-running manga, right? But I like a good old anime original. No source material, just an animation studio, a director, and a production team with a dream. When you have an anime original show, you're not constrained by existing material. You don't have to worry if your adaptation is faithful, or I have to put in all this filler to wait for the manga to catch up. None of that. You come up with your vision for a story and you tell it using the medium of animation. Again, Licorice Recoil is an example of this, Odd Taxi another one, or the upcoming Studio Bones original Metallic Rogue, and even something like Cyberpunk Edgerunners, which, while based on an existing IP, is a wholly original story. I love it. I can't wait to see all the upcoming anime originals, and I hope more get made. Going back to MAPPA, I mean, we need a big MAPPA anime original that's less Talk OP and more Zombieland Saga. Or imagine Gen Urobuchi writing a completely original anime for Ufotable. Wouldn't that be insane? Like a Madoka Magica-esque story with Fate Zero-like visuals? Come on, bro. Alright, well, that's enough ranting. Those are some new and not so new trends that really grind my gears. Again, there are shows that follow these tropes that I like, so it's not a universal thing, but I mean, I'm just a guy who likes variety and innovation, that's all. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like and subscribe if you did. Also leave a comment saying some of your favorites and least favorite trends. Also donate to Patreon if you want to support the channel. I'm gonna be starting to watch some shows on there. I'm already doing Ruby, and I'm planning on starting Bleach this weekend or sometime. Oh my god, how exciting. Again, it'll be exclusive to Patreon because, hashtag not a reaction channel, but yeah, check it out. Otherwise, that's the video. Peace.